Are you ready to kickstart your week with some dirt slinging and tire slaying action motorsports radio that packs the biggest guests?
Hi, Ken Block here.
Hey, my name's Jolene Van Vliet.
What's up, Brian Deegan here.
Vaughn Gittin Jr. here.
They've been thrown into one show that has broken down the barriers of what a motorsports radio show should be. This is the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, with support from General Tire, KMC Wheels, Rigid Industries, Dirtfish, Gibson Exhaust, and MTX Audio, with your host, who also happens to spend his weekends flying 800 horsepower trucks through the dirt, Jim Beaver.
When was the last time you saw an off-road or rally driver begging to get behind the wheel of a NASCAR IndyCar? Yep, not happening, but you sure see these pavement racers begging to drive our cars.
And his partner in crime every week, a self-proclaimed Canadian moto chick who was jumping triples and taking podiums before most guys even learned to ride, Ami Houde.
No one knows how to say my last name. Like, is it really that hard? Ami Houde, like I'm from the hood. Don't get it twisted.
Sit back, strap in, and be prepared to join us as we take you through a motorsports ride like no other. Here is the man who carries a steering wheel in one hand and a mic in the other, Jim Beaver.
Good morning and welcome to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm your host, Jim Beaver. Starting up year number 5 on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, kicking off 2016 in style. Big show today. Got some blockbuster news coming out of our camp I'm going to talk about in just a few minutes, but got to give you the rundown on the show. And, kicking off the year, normally it's dead time in motorsports this week. No way. Red Bull Frozen Rush going down this weekend. Got Snowcross going off, Best in the Desert Series kicking off with some UTV and motorcycle racing, and the big one, Supercross A1, happening there in SoCal this weekend, and then we can't forget about the Dakar Rally. We're going to have all that and more today on the Down and Dirty Radio Show. 3 epic guests, Bryce Menzies, RJ Anderson, my Polaris Razor teammates. They are going to be doing battle up there in Maine, Sunday River Resort in Maine. A lot of you know that from the New England Forest Rally. Well, that's laying host to Red Bull Frozen Rush this weekend, and that's going down. We're going to have RJ and Bryce both on the air. Separate times, I might add. Would be really fun to get them both on at the same time, but that's definitely not in the cards today. We'll have Bryce up first, and then in about 30 minutes from now, we'll have RJ calling in. And then kicking off hour number 2, we're going to have Ami Houde on the hook for an entire hour. This year, you're going to be hearing a lot more from Miss Ami Houde. Some days we're going to have her for 2 hours. Some days we're only going to have her for 1 hour. Sometimes it might be only 30 minutes. But a whole lot more Ami Houde in 2016. That's definitely a good thing. We're going to be breaking down Supercross. But not only that, we're going to have Michael Leib, privateer Supercross rider. He's going to be on the line. He's going to be breaking down 2016 Supercross season as well, and we'll find out what's in store for us from Mr. Michael Leib in 250 West. So should be a pretty exciting show, man. Stacked guest list. Great way to kick off 2016. And an even better way to kick off 2016, announcement that I have been kind of very secret about. It's been in the works for almost 2 years. Really, things got hot and heavy over the summer. But as all of you know, I mean, this show is started out kind of as a hobby. It's become, a full-blown, job for me. I travel around the country doing radio, announcing, a little bit of TV. It's just been amazing. Some amazing partners. More importantly, some amazing fan support. You guys tuning in each and every week. I mean, 6 figures worth of listeners. It's just crazy. Well, the opportunity came. We've got some amazing partners, and happy to announce that as of yesterday, got contracts, paperwork finally dialed in. The Down and Dirty Radio Show will be going into national syndication in 2016. Signed a deal with the Sports Byline Network. A lot of you know Sports Byline from the Speed Freaks, the same network that carries the Speed Freaks radio show. They will be carrying the Down and Dirty Radio Show. Sports Byline Network consists of 200 AM/FM networks, Sirius XM, the U.S. Armed Forces Network. I'm not saying we're going to be up and running on all those networks to start with, but you can see the possibilities. And the good news is we don't have to change our format one bit. Action Motorsports, as we've done it for the past 4 years, we're going to be doing it the same way. We're not picking up that roundy-round stuff. No NASCAR, no drag racing here. It's not happening. It's still going to be off-road, rally, drifting, power sports, you name it. That's what we're going to be covering, and I'm really excited about it. It's a great opportunity for me, and, it's you fans that have helped make it happen. I mean, 4 years ago, these doors wouldn't even wouldn't even have a possibility of opening. But they look at the listenership of the show and go, hey, maybe there is something to this, action motorsports movement. Maybe we ought to be taking notice. And, that's kind of what happened. And I'm excited to be a part of it, bring you guys along for the ride. And definitely more information will be coming soon. And I got to tell you, though, Polaris RZR, they are literally the ones that help make this happen. So if you're buying a UTV, your only stop, Polaris RZR, definitely. They support they support not only the show, but, as we can see, Action Motorsports as a whole. And, they bought into, the entire format of the show, and they help make it happen. And, and they're definitely the ones that are pushing this mainstream. So big shout out to all my friends at Polaris RZR, and, and all of you once again for listening in each and every Monday. Pretty exciting stuff. I mean, we've got a whole lot of stuff, a whole lot of projects going on this year, and I can't wait to bring you guys into it. A lot of my friends from action sports, from motorsports, we're going to bringing them into the show, certain segments. You're going to hear names from the past come back more often. New people. We've just got, so much epicness that we're building on for 2016. A lot of good stuff, and just super excited to be a part of it. And I know remote shows, I mean, geez, we've got so many remote shows. I mean, obviously we're back with Rally America this year. We've got a ton of stuff we're going to be doing with Polaris RZR, events around the country, and Terracross, and I know some certain venues that we're going to be at that we've never been at before. So it's definitely going to be a good year. Thanks to you guys for listening in, and help spread the word when you get the chance, and makes everything happen. But getting back to things, I know we talked about Red Bull Frozen Rush. Got Bryce Menzies should be calling in here in just a few minutes. That going down in Maine this weekend, and as you know, it's I think Ricky Johnson, Bryce Menzies, the only two drivers to ever take victories at Red Bull Frozen Rush. Such a dynamic event. You got to give props to Red Bull for dreaming this stuff up. I mean, you see, they literally have probably the best social media channels to follow. Just with the stuff they dream up with, whether it be with BMX riders or motocross. I mean, some of the stuff that Robby Madison's involved with. We go back to New Year's No Limits. I still kind of sad about that every year that, New Year's Eve we don't get to watch another New Year's No Limits. But, I'm sure that ran its course and was very expensive to produce. But Red Bull definitely steps things up. But, studded tires, Pro 4 trucks, at a ski resort, crossover jumps, just a whole lot of good stuff happening up there in Maine. And I was looking at the weather. Sounds like they got a lot of snow at the resort. It's actually pretty warm temps. I think around mid-30s all week long. Doesn't look like any snow in the forecast. Maybe a little light dusting, but should be some great weather for you, those of you going out to Frozen Rush. I know I know I've got a lot of questions from social media asking if I'm going to be out there. Nope, I am not going to be out there, but I do know my good buddies Jared Deanna and Cameron Steele. They're going to be on the mic out there, so you're definitely going to be in good hands with those two. But shaping up to be just an awesome event. But like we said before, Bryce Menzies and Ricky Johnson, the only two, that have taken victories there before. And, it's I know talking with a couple of these drivers over the weekend, a lot of guys are definitely gunning for Menzies and RJ. But a lot of you that can't make it out there, it's going to be a great live stream. I mean, Red Bull TV, when they throw together a live stream, it's top-notch TV quality production. But this Friday, you guys can tune in. Action kicks off 12 Eastern time. That's noon Eastern What is that, like 9 Pacific, I guess? 9 Pacific, 12 East, January 8th, Friday, redbull.tv. That's where you can get in on the action. Check it out. They're going to have a full live stream all day long, cover all the events. And I know a lot of you be at work on Friday, just like you are with the Down and Dirty Radio Show. Well, just kind of sneak that, mute it a little bit, keep it minimized, pop it up when your boss isn't looking. I know how it is. So I know what you guys are going to be doing on Friday, and that's definitely checking out this live stream. But those of you at home, it's pretty crazy with Red Bull TV. They've got apps now for smartphones and smart devices and, Apple TV and all these players. Built into some of the television sets with these smart TVs. I don't know, what Red Bull's done is just phenomenal with Red Bull TV. It really is just quite amazing. I'm impressed every time I see it. It's like I pop something up and and all of a sudden Red Bull TV's there. So I know they're doing even a bigger rollout this year from what I understand, and it's going to be available more places, more devices, and a whole lot easier to catch. Not that it's hard right now, but definitely going to be even easier later on this year. But the other big event happening right now, and I know we're going to get to some clips later on the show. Got some audio clips from our boy Sheldon Creed, Robby Gordon's number 2. And I apologize, skipping back to December. We're going to have Robby on air, and Robby was literally in meetings about this Sheldon Creed announcement as we were live on the air. I was waiting for Robby to call in. We had a time, and those of you that were listening, you kind of heard this play out live on the show, and it's pretty cool that it happened that way. We're waiting on Robby, and I'm getting texts from Robby, hey, in meetings, I'm in meetings. He missed his call-in time, right? And, and I knew the reason why. I was kind of brought into this a couple of weeks prior. I can't say anything on air. It's Robby's job to break this, right? So, we're waiting. Robby misses his call-in spot, and I go, okay, well, hopefully they announce this later today, right? And lo and behold, boom, Sheldon Creed announced the driver of the second Gordini there for the Dakar Rally. So you guys kind of heard it play out on air, and it's kind of cool when it happens that way. Definitely a bummer we didn't have Robby on. I'm sure he'll make it up to you guys after the Dakar Rally and kind of recap everything. But, Dakar going on. Sheldon Creed announced as driver number 2 in the Gordini. He's got Jonah Street as his co-driver, definitely making a formidable 1-2 punch there. Just kicking things off at Dakar. I know that they canceled one of the first stages. They've been getting a ton of rain down there, and canceled one of the first stages because it was so bad. I guess the weather was so bad they couldn't fly the safety helicopters. They just decided cars were going to get stuck and everything else. Let's just cancel it and go to stage number 2. So racing really started yesterday, I guess it was. It looks like Robby having a little trouble. I know he got stuck in a brutal mud hole at one point, and it was pretty. I don't know. It looked like a darn river of mud, to be honest with you. But Robby getting stuck there. Sheldon having a little bit of trouble. He's getting his feet wet. The guy hadn't done a lot of long distance endurance racing. Filled in for Robby Gordon at the 1000 a couple of years ago. But definitely kind of getting his feet wet with the Dakar thing. And kind of getting a feel for the Gordini. No telling how much seat time. This was just announced in mid-December, so no telling how much seat time that he had prior to getting to South America in the Gordini. I'm sure a little bit, but nothing like Robby. So he's getting a feel for it, but run a little bit back, but still solid. I think going into today, Robby's sitting about 20th overall. And then you had Sheldon Creed, I believe, about 35th overall. Robby with I believe it was 12, 13 minutes of downtime, something like that. But right now, the shocker to me, Sebastian Loeb just running out front and kind of running away with things, to be honest with you. I've always said, that Sebastian Loeb is absolutely one of the best drivers in the world, hands down, in anything. He's even tested Formula One cars and been all right. I mean, you literally can, you literally can put, Sebastian Loeb on everything. I bet you throw him on a super bike, a MotoGP bike, and he'd be amazing. Put him in Dakar. I was even vocal. I believe it was on the Race Desert forums, guys talking about Dakar. And I said, look, you don't go to Dakar in your first year and expect to win. I said, it just doesn't happen. I said, even Sebastian Loeb won't win in his first year. Now, granted, we've got 2 weeks worth of stages, and we're in stage number 3, I believe. And Loeb running out front. Last I checked today, it was. I'll get an update in the next commercial break, on what's going on there. He's just, the guy's just on a mission to destroy everybody, and we know he can drive short distances very, very fast. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Can he keep that pace the entire rally? I mean, we've seen the evolution of Trophy Truck. And we've seen the evolution of Trophy Truck and how drivers have had to adapt their driving style. It used to be just a survival race. And, if you got to the end, you knew you were guaranteed a top 3, and you get kind of towards the end and you push a little bit and see if maybe you can get that top spot. Trophy Truck, whether it be a 500-mile race, doesn't matter. It's become a full-on sprint. From the time the green drops, it's gas on, game on, and, you're driving 110%. Dakar has kind of been like Trophy Truck of old, where you just kind of survived and you kept a good pace and you knew you had a shot at the end. And I don't know. This could be the changing of the tide, bringing in a guy like Sebastian Loeb, who's got the factory support to run 110% from day one all the way to the end. I don't know. Can he keep this pace up? It's to be determined. But if he does, I think this could be the turning point in the Dakar Rally, where you have, the longest, most grueling race in the entire world, and it becomes a sprint. I know that sounds kind of funny, but I don't know. If Sebastian can keep this pace up and he can finish in first without any major downtime, I mean, I think we've seen things change. And I don't know. Like I said, very, very, very early at this point. Super, super early. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's, definitely to be determined at this point. And, we'll see if Sebastian can keep this up. But, definitely he's putting on a show for you Dakar fans right now. That is for certain, no doubt about it. Sebastian Loeb proven he's one of the greatest in the world, hands down. I know, geez, look at the guy. It's, you look at what he's done in the WRC, and he got to the point where he was winning so much in WRC that he just quit. He just up and quit. Like, I got nothing left to prove. The fact of the matter is he doesn't. Even when he decided after he retired to kind of run part-time 3 or 4 rallies a year, he was still dominating those, not even running a full-time effort. I mean, he tries his hand at rallycross, once, I believe. And don't get me wrong, he could have done something in Europe that I'm not following Sebastian Loeb to a T. So many big Sebastian Loeb fans, I'm sure you're going to prove me wrong. But, he comes over, tries GRC at the X Games, jumps in a Citroen at X Games, beats everyone. Just first time ever in a GRC car, boom, goes to X Games, the biggest event of the year, just wipes the field with everybody. Okay, well, let's go try some touring cars now. And, he goes to touring cars. And then, he's running up front and winning there. Decides, we're going to try Pikes Peak. Peugeot and him put together this Pikes Peak car, and I was hoping it would be a 2 or 3 year effort, and he goes in year number 1 with this huge factory effort and absolutely annihilates the entire field, and shatters the record. I mean, it wasn't even close. It just, I don't know. The guy is amazing. I've heard rumors of him on a super bike and heard he's quite quick there. I know he's tested Formula One cars, and if I remember right, there was something about him, and and they wouldn't give him his super license to race F1. Something because he didn't have enough seat time or something, and they couldn't believe his times were as quick as they were. And anyways, everything about him was that he could, was good enough to get his F1 super license. But they wouldn't give it to him because they're just like, no, you don't have enough seat time in an F1 car, or any of the other lower divisions, something like that. So I mean, the guy just world talent once in a lifetime. I don't know the guy compare him to would be Valentino Rossi. And we were talking all these European motorsports. You guys are like, what the heck? This is totally out of the box for him. I don't know. We're waiting on Bryce to call in. I don't know. He must have got sidetracked up there at Sunday River. So I don't know. Bryce calls in anyways. You're going to hear me rant on European drivers. But Valentino Rossi, I mean, this guy, we know him as probably the greatest motorcycle racer to ever live. Obviously we haven't seen him on a dirt bike much. That would be interesting. But as far as super bikes go, MotoGP, I mean, he's world talent. But I know Valentino, he's stepped into rally cars, done quite well in those. Monza Rally every year. I know he jumps in one there. I think he's tested F1 cars and done very well in those. And we're talking, was it back in the Michael Schumacher days? I don't know, man. You guys are really picking my brain on European stuff. I used to follow this stuff a whole lot more than I do now. But I think Valentino Rossi, maybe did he do some F1 testing? I don't know, but he's another talent. I would love to see guys like that. Talk about Sebastian Loeb, talk about Valentino Rossi. Let's throw him in a trophy truck. I want to see him in a trophy truck. Bring him to Baja. Bring him to the Mint 400. That's what I want to see. Let's see these guys that think they're great, and throw them in there. I know Travis Pastrana, he's a guy I've had an immense amount of respect for as a wheelman. He can drive rally cars, NASCAR, dirt bikes, you name it. I mean, Pastrana, the guy is just, he's class. I mean, class of the field. And, and short course, I think he took a podium in his first short course race at Chicago a couple years ago. But you talk about guys like that, and, and to me, you take all that and you throw them in a trophy truck, and it's kind of always been the equalizer. And that being said, Loeb going to Dakar, that's the equalizer. I absolutely, he doesn't need to jump in a trophy truck if he can win a Dakar. I mean, he's proved enough already that's the world talent just from a couple of stages. But when Pastrana came and raced a trophy truck of the Mint, I know he'd spent some time in a Class 1 and stuff like that, but putting together a legit effort, under the Menzies banner and finished, fourth, I believe, like he did. I mean, to me, that showed a lot. I mean, that showed, to be able to finish at the Mint is an accomplishment. To be able to finish at the Mint with no flats and without ripping an A-arm off the car, that was just, to me, proved Travis Pastrana, he's got nothing left to prove. I mean, this guy can drive just about anything, and that's fact right there. So, it's, man, I don't know. It's been a wild Dakar. We're 2 days in. Rains, storm. It's just it's getting to be shenanigans down there in South America. But the guys are definitely pushing through, making stuff happen. And, it's, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. The weather going to lift? Is it going to make it just the absolute muckiest, nastiest Dakar on record? I don't know. We definitely will find out. But right now, looks like, Bryce is sidetracked. So I don't know. We're going to take a short commercial break. We come back. It's going to be R.J. Anderson on the line. And, we may have some quotes from Sheldon Creed. I'll have some up-to-the-minute Dakar updates and a whole lot more here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor.
Hey, I'm R.J. Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning Razor XP 1000. RJ is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris Razors to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris Razors RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris Razor vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? Dirtfish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, Dirtfish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance, rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZ, Dirtfish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, Dirtfish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit Dirtfish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from Dirtfish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dirtfish Rally. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Life is all about sound. The sound of sports. The sound of the racetrack. And the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Come to the island and rip it up this summer. Wakeboard Island. It's a skate park on water at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Check out the 2-tower cable system that pulls you and your board over the water. No boats to watch out for. No fumes. Wakeboard Island is open to all skill levels with an open center section for beginners. And for trick riders, a double side kicker in a 60-foot flat box. Wakeboard Island. The best ride this side of the Rockies. Adjacent to the River's Edge Cantina at Blue Water Resort and Casino on the Colorado River in Parker, Arizona.
Baja, check. King of the Hammers, check. Crandon, check. The Mint 400, check. Only one wheel company can say they have dominated the deserts and rocks of the Southwest to the mud and carnage of the big house at Crandon, and that company is KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels has won them all with the help of elite drivers like Travis Pastrana, Ricky Johnson, Bryce Menzies, Carl Renazetter, and Lauren Healy, who all rely on the XD Series from KMC Wheels to get them to the finish line and on top of the podium. Check out KMC Wheels and their full line of XD Series wheels at KMCWheels.com or on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KMC Wheels. KMC Wheels, like no other. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver here, holding it down on a Tuesday. I know I'm still getting used to calling it a Tuesday, something new for us this year. But switching gears, it's time to talk some Red Bull Frozen Rush. And joining us on the line is my Polaris Razor teammate and one of the raddest wheelmen I know, RJ Anderson. How's everything going, RJ?
Yeah, it's a new year. Just getting things all geared up. Got my first event of the year, so just getting all geared up for Frozen Rush.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of weird. I mean, being a short course guy, and I know doing some works and stuff like that, you usually have a delay. But Frozen Rush the past 2 years, I mean, comes the new year, and you're right behind the wheels. Kind of got to get you excited to fire off the new year. Behind the wheel instead of having to wait.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone always says, you got to be stoked it's the off season. But I mean, I run events all the way through November, and so December you have the holidays, and then first things off, January 1st, I'm basically leaving Frozen Rush. So it's like what off season? I'm almost busier right now than I am in the middle of the year. Racing's the easiest part. So going through all the things in the off season is the tough part. So I always get a kick out of people asking me, about how stoked I am that it's the off season. But the off season's more stressful to me than anything else.
Yeah, for sure. Well, talking about Frozen Rush, I know this is a little bit different. No longer the rookie going into Frozen Rush. This is year number 2 for you. What can we expect? I mean, I know it's a little bit different than you. One, we're running on ice and snow, but you're switching from two-wheel drive short course truck to a four-wheel drive. I mean, how has that changed for you, and how is it racing on ice and snow with studded tires?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm stoked for sure not being the rookie coming into it this year. I think I learned a lot last year, and the track time's so limited because that's those crazy BF Goodrich spiked tires that we run. I mean, they tear up the course pretty quick, and so our track time's really limited. We don't get a lot of time to dial in the trucks. And me last year going into the event not knowing, how I was going to perform and making sure I wasn't, just going for it too quick off the bat. I learned a lot. So going into it this year, I feel like I have a way bigger advantage compared to last year being rookie. So now I'm on the same playing field as those guys. I mean, the bummer part for me is I'm racing there's 9 of us out there, and they're all some of the best short course racers in the world, and I'm the only guy of the 9 drivers that doesn't race a Pro 4. So they're already all turned on to racing 4-wheel drives, and I'm a 2-wheel drive guy. So that's the only difference for me being I'm kind of the underdog. So if I could go out there and do good, it'd be really cool because I'm kind of the guy that doesn't have the experience.
Yeah. That being said, I know you've got Pro 2s in your stable. You've got some Pro Lights sitting around. I mean, Pro 4. I mean, this isn't a truck you just pull out of thin air. Can I ask? Where'd you get the truck? Who's you driving? I mean, have you had some seat time behind it before?
Yeah. So I'm driving the same truck that I used last year. It's owned by Stronghold Motorsports, and back in 2012, 2013, I actually was a part of the Stronghold Motorsports team. So I've maintained a good relationship with those guys, and it's tricky for me, because everyone's kind of using their own trucks, and I'm renting it. So I'm on a rental program, and the one cool thing is they let me get a little bit of seat time. So I got to get out to Glen Helen and spun about 15 to 20 laps and just kind of get back turned on for 4-wheel drive stuff. And then they've been awesome. So let me use their truck. It's definitely a different deal. It's not your office. I'm getting into someone else's office, it seems like. But it's definitely cool that they let me do that.
Yeah. Well, and I know, Pro 2, I mean, any division in short course, I mean, you're driving hard into the corners, but, Pro 4, I mean, how is it for you, getting accustomed to that? I mean, because Pro 2, I mean, Pro 2 to Pro 4s, you can just drive even that much harder into the corners. I mean, how is that, is it relearning how to drive, or is it, pretty easy transition?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you can drive a Pro 4 so aggressive. It's crazy compared to a Pro 2. People ask me now that I race Pro 2, but I've gotten a little bit of time in Pro 4s here and there, what it's like to race a Pro 4. And the way I describe it is you almost drive it like you literally don't care. I mean, you go so aggressive into the corner, and the way you can throw it in and having that 4-wheel drive to pull you out of the corner, a Pro 2 would spin out instantly, with all that horsepower. And you can't drive a 2-wheel drive like you can a 4-wheel drive. So it's so fun for me being a 2-wheel drive guy to get to mix it up in a 4-wheel drive, because it's so fun just having that rush of being, backing a truck in and getting on the throttle to pull you out.
Yeah. Well, that being said, I mean, I know you do a lot of Razor Racing Terracross works. I mean, you do a little bit of stuff in the desert here and there when opportunities pop. We all know about XP1K. Does your time in the Razor, I mean, in race conditions, we're always in all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive in those. I mean, does that carry over a little bit? I mean, as far as driving, because I know, some of the, short course type corners, I mean, you're backing Razors in too.
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool. We did our Frozen Rush, look as the XP1K3 scheme a little bit. So kind of bringing the Razor world into the truck stuff that I'm doing, try to tie it together as much as possible. But yeah, I mean, there is similarities. I race Terracross and works, and when I do the desert races, that's all 4-wheel drive in the Razor. So I do have some time. It's just is just so different. I mean, in a RZR, you're 100 140 horsepower, where this truck's 900 horsepower. It's low to the ground. It's meant to be thrown in and do all these things, where a RZR is more of a versatile, machine that's meant to do so many different things. So the ride height higher in a RZR, you can't just throw it in super hard and use the horsepower. It's more in the RZRs, you use the full drive to kind of get you through the ruts and if you're rock crawling, obviously doing the rock stuff, but it's just a different sensation. You just don't have the horsepower in the RZR that you do in the truck.
Yeah. Well, I know, talking about short course, past couple of years you've run both Pro 2 and Pro Light. This year, moving full time into the Pro 2. I mean, what's the outlook on short course season for you this year?
Yeah, so I'm stoked. I was able to win the Pro Light championship and ended in a high note. I had 5 years of Pro Light, and I won 2 championships and finished second in points twice and third once. So I mean, it's pretty good 5 years for me in the Pro Light, and just felt like it was time to put my focus on to better things. I learned a lot, and it did its job for me. Moving my little brother into the Pro Light, which is really cool. I'm excited to get him going. I think he's got a lot of talent, and people are starting to notice that he's gonna be fast, and I think he's gonna show that in the truck this year. So I'm stoked to watch that progress, and just me being Pro 2 only. I mean, like last year, we're fighting for a championship. That takes so much. It's one thing to go out and try to just win races, but when you're going for a championship, there's so much other stuff entitled that goes with it. So I'm stoked to just put full force effort on Pro 2 only, and I think we're gonna have a really good year this year.
Yeah. Well, and past that, I know, you do a ton of stuff, in RZRs. I mean, what's the outlook on that? I know obviously you're back in Terracross, as far as the work series. We're going to see you there. Anything else?
Yeah. So, I mean, as far as the RZR stuff go, I do as much of it as I can because I like doing it so much. I mean, I have so much fun getting in the RZR and going and down with those guys. So, yep, hopefully doing some Terracross stuff next year. For sure. I'm doing, it looks like, 5 or 6 UTV races, including the UTV World Championship and some select works rounds. I can't unfortunately compete in a whole season this year because there's so many conflicts in my schedule. So I'm doing about 4 works rounds and the World Championships, and then gonna mix in some Terracross and other little things. Hopefully some desert stuff. I'm working on getting out there to the Mint. So not sure if it's going to be a RZR. Hopefully something with a little more horsepower.
Yeah, nice. That'll be great to see him best in the desert. I know there's a lot of, man, it's crazy just looking at the teams coming in this year. I know Guthrie's, all of a sudden fielding, best in the desert effort. I mean, it's getting pretty over the top, man.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the desert racing side of UTVs, I mean, it shows how crazy it's got. I mean, I think some of the races were fielding 55 entries. I mean, that's just insane. Yeah. So it's cool that people are building their own cars and coming out and contesting. And I mean, it showed throughout the year. I think there's just about almost a different winner at every race. So it's a competitive class, and it's growing, which is really good for the sport of off-road.
Yeah. Well, and then, XP1K3, I know, you guys dropped that. You continue to blow minds as far as I'm concerned. We I don't know if you can let the cat out of the bag. If is there going to be a 4th iteration? I'm assuming so, right?
We're gonna keep doing it as long as we can, I think. No huge plans as of now. We put a big focus on 1K3, and it went good. It's just doing something different every time. Some people try to compare all the videos and say, oh, this was better than 2, or 2 was way better than 3, and what we just do is something different. We don't want to do the same thing. People don't want to watch me do the same stunts as I've done in the previous 2. So it's just keep on innovating and at the end of the day showing what's capable in a RZR. And so to keep doing that is I have a fun time. It gets stressful at times, and there's days where you question it, but it's overall, I mean, fun, just being able to take the RZR platform and to just push the limits. So we're going to keep doing it for sure. Can't talk too much about it, but at this point there looks like there's going to be another video.
Yeah. Well, and I know you got a slingshot sitting in the garage too, right?
Yeah, Typical horsepower guy over here. I got it, and I put about, I want to say 150 miles on it, and just about need a new rear tire. So I did the most logical thing, and I dropped it off over at my buddy Mike Porter, who owns Redline Performance, and he's putting a turbo on it. So now I have a turbo slingshot, and I'm itching to get behind the seat of it because I got about 140 more horsepower out of it. So I'm pretty stoked to take it to the streets.
Wow, and that's one thing. I know I've got an open opportunity to drive them. I just haven't been able to get out, so I could do it. But, I mean, how is that? It's got to be just a ball, right?
Oh, it's insane. I mean, I couldn't believe when I picked it up, and I just drove it to my shop from Bert's Megaball in my shop. It's only about 30 miles, and the amount of pictures people took and thumbs up, and I mean, I'll be sitting at a stoplight and people roll up and roll down their window, and I've had people ask me if it's a Corvette or like what I'm driving, and how stoked people are on it is, I was pretty surprised on how much people are like, whoa, that's insane, and some people are like, oh, I've seen that before. Where do you get that? And it's crazy how stoked people are on it. So I love driving it. I mean, it's like a sports car for a fraction of the cost. I mean, it's so fun to drive. Yeah, you'll have to next time you get an opportunity, you have to just go check it out. It's fun shifting gears and being out in the open like that.
Yeah, they look just ton of fun. But switching gears back to Frozen Rush, I know later on this week things kick off. We're sitting here, you just flew in yesterday to up there to Maine. I mean, what's everything look like for you the rest of the week?
It looks cold, is what it looks like. It's crazy heading up here into Maine. Is just about as far from Southern California as you can get, and it reminds me why I live in Southern California. But it's cool coming up here, and I'm excited. We're getting ready to do some practice and then qualifying later on this week before racing on Friday. So the racing goes off Friday. You can catch it on live streaming, and then it'll air later on in the year. But it's a cool format. I mean, you don't get a lot of seat time, and I'm hoping to make it for sure out of the first round and contend for a podium spot this year. I think from my experience last year and now being back here and having the same course layout and all that, I think I'm stoked to see where we stack up this year. I mean, I'm racing some champions. That's kind of the slogan for the event this year is 9 champions but only 1 king. So we're out here at Sunday River, and I would love nothing more to walk away with a podium here this week. Yeah, well, and I know your good friend Bryce Menzies. He's wearing the crown right now from last year. I got to ask, I mean, you guys get together, away from the track quite a bit. Bryce, he give you any pointers, or is he pretty much told you're on your own? Yeah, last year I think I could pull the new guy card and ask for pointers, but this year no one's helping me out. I'm on my own. So yeah, Bryce had a killer run last year. I think was on top of the charts from first practice on. So it's my friend. I'd love nothing more than to change that. So hopefully we can do it this year. I'm liking our odds a lot better, and not a Pro 4 guy, but I think we can do all right.
Awesome. Well, good luck this weekend, buddy. We'll definitely be watching the live stream, and hopefully you can bring it home and see you on the podium.
Yeah, awesome. Hopefully we'll have to get another call going because I won the thing. That'd be ideal, right?
Yeah, I guarantee you win. You're getting a text from me. We want you on air next week for sure. So I'm hoping we can have you back to back. That'd be great for both of us.
That'd be awesome. So yeah, thanks, and I'll stay warm for me out there, and we'll keep doing our thing.
All right, sounds good, my friend.
All right.
Always fun having RJ Anderson on air. RJ become a good friend of mine, and guy can wheel just about everything. You talk about Pro Light, Pro 2, now Pro 4. Guy's got more talent behind the wheel of a RZR than probably anybody I've ever seen. And then, now talking about maybe possibly doing a trophy truck or something like that at the Mint 400 and slingshot shenanigans. RJ just a heck of a wheel man, and, he's getting his young 20s still. He's, I don't know, 10 years out, 15 years out. What are we going to see? It's he's definitely changing the game for sure. Speaking of Red Bull Frozen Rush, once again, going to give you those details for you people wanting to tune into the live stream. Red Bull TV is the home for the live stream. You don't want to miss it. Redbull.tv, Friday, this January 8th, and it starts at 12 Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific. And, it's going to be great, man. I love this event, love watching it. I know, I'm not going out there this year, but I will definitely be locked and loaded, tuned in, whether it be on my smartphone or my computer, and definitely taking it all in for sure. So great having RJ on, kind of find out what he's got going on in 2016, and mix of works and Terracross and Lucas Short Course, and he's one that ventures back to Crandon as well. So bet we may see him back there a time or two. But right now, kind of skipping over to back to Dakar. You guys, just finishing up the day as we speak. 1 through 4, we had Sebastian Loeb taking the stage 3. Finish there. Carlos Sainz, a minute 23 seconds back. Nasser Al-Attiyah, a minute 25 seconds back, so only 2 seconds back of Sainz. We had De Villiers, 2 minutes 2 seconds back. Robby Gordon finishing up in 16th position, 9.5 minutes back, give or take. And then Sheldon Creed about almost 15 minutes back, 14 minutes 41 seconds in 24th position. So I got to tell you, I am uber impressed with Sheldon Creed at this point. Kid is definitely. I don't know. Robby said, "Hey, he's ready," and who's to argue with Robby Gordon? When Robby says something, Robby generally means it. And Sheldon Creed, absolutely impressive through a few stages. He did do an interview yesterday after the end of yesterday's stages, so give or take about 12 hours ago, and kind of talking about his first long group of stage miles, and he did it for Planet Robby, our good friends over at Planet Robby. I'm going to air that interview for you. You can get it in its entirety, Planet Robby's Facebook page. And I got to tell you, if you're a Dakar fan and you're here in the U.S., I don't care if you're a Dakar fan anywhere, Planet Robby, they're locked and loaded, whether it's Twitter, their Facebook page, their website, and their forums. This is kind of Robby Gordon's official website, his kind of official fan website, but they have top-notch coverage, especially of Robby Gordon's effort. And then our friends at racedesert.com, they're also uploading a ton of features as well. So between Planet Robby and racedesert.com, they should have you loaded with Dakar coverage. And then obviously there's the official Dakar app and all the official Dakar channels. But for you American fans, I would say Planet Robby, race-desert.com. Those are going to be your home for all the coverage. But here's that interview with Sheldon Creed. It's about 3 minutes long, and courtesy of Planet Robby.
Today was a really good day. It was our first stage. Second stage, day 3, but our first actual long stage. And I thought we had a lot to learn, and we learned a lot. So, we set up a really fast pace at first. I think we caught our first car within maybe 10-15 minutes of our special, and we're getting after it. And I got stuck in their dust for probably another 15 to 20 minutes until catching up to them. And it's tight and twisty, so it's really hard to get through the dust here. And got to them. Got out of the dust for a little bit, and just started laying it down again, getting some good time in, and then we got to this gnarly mud section, and there was 2 cars already stuck in it, and off to the right there was some trails for through the grass that people were already taking. So we're up in there, and a bunch of spectators were up against the grass bank, and they're all running out of the way because we're trying not to stay in the mud. And I ended up sliding into the mud, getting pretty sketchy. Almost got stuck and almost hit one of the cars that was stuck in the mud, and ended up soaking them pretty good. And couldn't see anything, just barely getting through it, going like 5 miles an hour wide open through it. So got really lucky there and didn't get stuck. And that one claimed a lot of cars. So a lot of good cars towards the front. Then started putting the metal down again and just reeling in more cars. I think we got by 4 or 5 cars before the 200K mark, and was really doing good. We really smoothed the day. A couple mistakes on my part and Jonah's, and it wasn't really too bad. He just missed a couple calls on on how many Ks we were out from tight turns, and I blew a couple of turns just coming in hot, and the roads being more slippery than I expected. So overall, a really good day, and I think probably 130K to go. Started getting a tight power steering issue, and I started getting tighter, and ended up losing full power steering with probably 120K to go, and ran it like that for probably 20 or 30 kilometers, and finally got over it. We had a couple sketchy moments because I couldn't turn the car fast enough, and we were still trying to run a good pace, so pulled over, took the hood off real quick, and opened the hatch, and got some motor oil and some power steering fluid, and just started filling the thing up. It was like a non-fixable thing. The pump had a little hole in it, so just dumped a bunch of fluids in it real quick and got back on the road. I think we lost probably 5 or 10 minutes, and probably lost 5 or 6 spots that we already took some risk and gained earlier. So got back on the road, had some steering again, which was really, really nice, and just started going hard again. Got back 3 of the 4 spots that we lost, and I don't know, I'd say the last 100K was really fun. It was a little bit more open than the beginning of the special, and really got to open it up there at the end. And the dust was a little tough in some sections. We got into some little sand washes, and had some fun passes. We were off on the grass, all sideways, trying to hold on to it, making the passes, which was really cool. And it gets it exciting. You get kind of bored and get kind of tired. Being in the car for 4 or 5 hours at a time, and just being so focused on the road. So a little thing like that, make it really fun, and a good day overall. I think we were 33rd, and I think we would have been inside the top 20 somewhere if we wouldn't have some power steering issues. But overall, really good day, and I can't wait for tomorrow.
All right, that was Sheldon Creed, courtesy of our friends at Planet Robby, kind of talking about his first group of stages. And, obviously, we've had another group of, well, not first group of stages, first group of stage miles, I guess. A lot of transit miles up to that point. But, kid is definitely doing well for his first Dakar ever, kind of right in there. And I can tell you already, he's definitely got to be turning heads, sitting 25th after today, and just a solid effort by Sheldon Creed, and kid's got the name the Prodigy. I guess that's definitely for a reason, but definitely a shout out to him. And it's interesting he talks about, and and I've done I've soloed the Baja 500, soloed Vegas to Reno, soloed a lot of longer distance desert races. Never sold the Baja 1000, but he's right. You get into the car 10, 12. In my case, I think one time I did. We had some problems at Baja 500. It was like 17, 18 hours in the car or in the truck, I guess. And and I can attest that you kind of get in a zone, and it kind of can lull you to sleep. So anything snap you out of that, and break you out of the monotony is always a good thing. So big shout out to Planet Robby for that. Appreciate them letting us use their audio file, and definitely be locked and loaded to Planet Robby and RaceDesert.com, for the rest of Dakar for more updates. We'll have Dakar coverage each and every day, each and every Tuesday, I guess, here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show. Full coverage of that for sure. Did want to mention getting some questions, made that big announcement to start the show about us going into national syndication, and getting a bunch of questions. Hey, where am I going to be able to hear it, and this and that? And I will tell you this, we're going into national syndication. There's all kinds of networks going to be picking us up. We don't have a full listing yet. We'll definitely get that posted at some point when we get it all dialed in. But those of you that listen online, you're still going to be able to listen online. We're moving to from Monday to Tuesday because we air nationally Wednesday mornings. So we're going to be the drive time show across the country Wednesday mornings. But Tuesday, when instead of our Monday show, it's going to be Tuesday from here on out because I travel too much on Mondays. And we've been doing Tuesday shows off and on, over the course of the past 4 years. But if you're a Tuesday listener, you can still, right here, where you're listening today, you're still going to be able to find it. Same time, 9 a.m. Pacific, downanddirtyshow.com. Spreaker. If you listen to K-Rock, some of our FM affiliates in Western Arizona, Performance Motorsports Network, Race Day Nation, any of those places online, SoundCloud, iTunes, you're still going to be able to get it there. Nothing is changing. We're just picking up a bunch of networks. So, we're just adding to our networks, adding to our reach. So you can still always get it exactly where you're at right now. Nothing is changing. Just after we get off air, the audio file kind of gets distributed out across the United States. So there you go. You don't have to make any changes other than tune in on a Tuesday instead of a Monday from here on out. So there you go. We're going to take a short commercial break, and when we come back, Ami Houde is going to be on the line, and then shortly after Ami Houde calls in, we're going to have Supercross racer Michael Leib on the line as well. We're going to be talking 2016 Supercross and a whole lot more on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor.
I'm Polaris rider Leeb Valley, and I choose Polaris just because they have the best quality, highest performing, most fun machines out there.
Only one company has taken Levi LaValle to 10 X Games medals, snowcross championships, a double backflip, and a world record long jump of 412 feet across the San Diego Harbor on New Year's Eve, and that company is Polaris. Whether it's dominating the X Games, racing a stock Polaris Razor XP1000 in the Terracross Championship, or just hitting the trail on the weekend, for over 20 years, Levi has relied on the same quality Polaris vehicles and products you can purchase at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of action sports legend Levi LaValle and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Looking to upgrade the brake system on your race car, pre-runner, or weekend toy? J-Mar Performance Brake Systems has you covered. An industry leader in performance braking systems, J-Mar can outfit your vehicle with the highest quality American-made calipers, rotors, master cylinders, hubs, turning brakes, and shifters for Volkswagens to trophy trucks and everything in between. For more information and their full product line, visit J-Mar on the web at jmarperformance.com or follow them on Instagram and Twitter at J-Mar Brakes. Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? Dirtfish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, Dirtfish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance, rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZs, Dirtfish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, Dirtfish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit Dirtfish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from Dirtfish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dirtfish Rally.
Come to the island and rip it up this summer. Wakeboard Island. It's a skate park on water at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Check out the two-tower cable system that pulls you and your board over the water. No boats to watch out for. No fumes. Wakeboard Island is open to all skill levels with an open center section for beginners. And for trick riders, a double side kicker in a 60-foot flat box. Wakeboard Island. The best ride this side of the Rockies. Adjacent to the River's Edge Cantina at Blue Water Resort and Casino on the Colorado River in Parker, Arizona.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, kicking off hour number 2. And man, it's been a fun show so far. Sorry, Miss Bryce Menzies must have got hung up there in Sunday River Resort up there in Maine. I definitely think all of you should check out that place if you get the opportunity. But right now, my partner in crime, Ami Houde, is calling into the show, which means.
Now, where the hood at? You better bust that if you don't pull that. Where the hood at?
What is happening, Ami Houde?
Well, we actually have a little bit of a situation, and I might have to leave you guys a bit early because my truck has just died in a loading zone, and it's automatically locked me out of it because I have no idea what's going on. So my dad's on his way to rescue me because I got to get back to work after this. But, yes, I'm currently stranded.
Holy crap, man. The Danger Ranger is having some issues, huh?
Yeah, so I'm kind of waiting for someone to come and rescue me. Of course, I'm downtown and extremely busy, and I'm actually not even supposed to be parked where I am. So, yeah, my truck's been kind of giving me a lot of problems. Like, I have the four-ways on, and they'll just die in, 5 minutes. So, yeah, I probably should get my battery checked.
Never a dull moment with Ami Houde. That's definitely for certain. Well, I know. Yeah. Well, we put the cat out of the bag earlier today about us kind of going into some national syndication. So I guess we're free to talk about that now and talk a little Frozen Rush. And we got Supercross for the next hour here.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. And we got my good friend Michael Leib coming on board to talk to us a little bit about Supercross and his new ride with Blue Buffalo Slater Skins Yamaha. And he's also the owner of Canvas MX, which is my new apparel moto gear sponsor for this year. And it looks super, super sick. So, no, I'm really excited to talk to him. And, I mean, he's going to be lining up this weekend at A1, so it should be good.
Yeah, there's been all kinds of off-season talk, and I don't know, you and I have been talking about it since, since I guess last May, and then especially after Monster Energy Cup. But I know I'm kind of slacking on my Supercross news a bit, but I do have to ask you, have we found out anything on Chad Reed yet? Because I literally spaced it and never even looked into it.
Let me look right now, because I actually have the list of entry form up here so I can tell you what brand he is riding. Sorry, I'm in a little bit of a kerfuffle right now because I'm staring at my truck hoping nobody comes and gives me a ticket. So let's see. Chad Reed is riding a Yamaha. So kind of goes to show I figured he'd be on a Yamaha. I mean, that's one of his, favorite bikes and machines to ride, and he's been really, really successful in the past. His upcoming career when he was younger, riding Yamaha and, winning Supercross championships. So it's kind of no doubt in my mind that he'd be back on blue.
Yeah, you feel like this is maybe like the swan song for him. Like, a lot of riders, it seems like, they go back to where they first started right before they retire. It's like they return home, so to speak. Do you feel like maybe this is him returning home and, another year or two he's going to throw in the towel and call it a career?
Well, I don't think he's going to have much longer of a career, but Chad Reed always seems to be that guy who kind of surprises us and, has a lot of tricks still left in his bag of goodies, and he's still a dark horse and, extremely talented and, showed us last year what he's capable of. And it just depends if he stays healthy this year because I know, once you start getting older, you're not like those 16-year-old kids who can rebound from an injury as quickly. I know a lot of the older guys like Kevin Windham, retired due to injuries, and plagued injuries can really affect your training and your confidence. So hopefully he stays healthy and he'll be able to have a long career. So I honestly give him like 3 to 5 years left.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think Chad's one of those guys. I mean, he's got personality to spare. So whether you like it or don't, he's got personality to spare. I think he's one of those guys we're definitely going to see him in some sort of a commentary role, or and obviously he's got his his 2-2 motorsports and stuff like that. But I think once he retires, he's going to be a fixture in Supercross in some form or fashion for a long time.
Oh yeah, no, without a doubt. And I know he really, really likes MotoGP and, hangs around the MotoGP scene quite a bit. And he has a son, Tate, who, obviously has a huge passion for riding and racing. As we can see in opening ceremonies, he always involves Tate. But, he's going to be that moto dad. And it'd be really cool to see him at Loretta's and, the amateur nationals and stuff helping out his son. So I think he's going to take on the title as ultimate moto dad, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, and I think we're joined right now by Michael Leib. How's everything going, Michael? Welcome to the show.
Yeah, it's going good. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, you're live with Jim Beaver, Ami Houde, and A1 this weekend, man. It's been a long off season. Gotta have you pretty excited to finally get back on the bike.
Yeah, no, it's been a long year. Everything on last year was a bummer, and I'm definitely getting myself busy.
Yeah. You there? It was cutting out a little bit, buddy.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yep. All right, cool.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. Well, I know, kind of give us a lowdown. I mean, you're a guy that I've got a ton of respect for. I mean, I know in desert racing side of things and being a privateer and, and struggling for every last, dime and having to come up with dynamic ways to market for sponsors and stuff like that. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm excited every year to see you on the gate. It's one of those things. I know the struggles in the off season. So, every time I see your name on the entry list, I'm like, all right, we're going to get another year of him.
Yeah, no, it was, kind of questionable last year after I got hurt. I kind of said, last year was it for me. And, I just feel like things ended way too soon, and I had way too many things, left in the tank for me to, go and hang up the boots. I mean, as you know, as other people know, it's expensive to go race, and, my family and I, we spend around $100,000 every year just to go to West Coast alone. And, I was over in Europe for a few years, had some struggles there, and, just kind of kept trying to make things work and make them happen, and unfortunately they didn't. And then, once I kind of felt like I had everything together this past year, coming into 2015, it was just unfortunate. The first few rounds, we kind of had some mechanicals and all issues, and then over in Oakland, I got hurt and I was out and off the bike for 7.5 months. So, it's just it's the way it all kind of works together. But I'm definitely looking forward to this coming season.
Yeah, well, and that's got to definitely take the wind out of your sails. I mean, where a lot of these guys are contracted for multiple years and stuff like that, a guy like you where, you got to be at every event and things like that. I mean, it's definitely got to take a lot of the wind out of your sails. It's almost, it's almost like when you come back from injury, it's starting all over again.
Yeah, no, and this one, I've had things like that, and when I got hurt in the hospital in Oakland, I was just devastated, and I was bummed out. But it didn't really hit me until normally you'll an injury after 2 or 3 months, on the long side of it. And, after month 4, after month 5, I got frustrated. And, luckily I had some things to keep me busy. If I didn't, I don't know what I'd be doing. But, it's just, it's frustrating, but at the same time, it's part of the sport, and, obviously we love it enough to keep coming back for some.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I got to ask, and we'll definitely talk a little bit more Supercross, but I was kind of looking through some past interviews and stuff, and something popped up, and I'm like, I got to ask him that, because to me, it's, I know me in the desert, and I always want to know where I'm at, who's in front of me, who's behind me, what position I'm at. Read an article, so you don't like to know what position you're in when you're on track, right? You don't like them holding up the board and letting you know where you stand in the field?
No, I hate that. I hate it. I definitely, for me, it's you push yourself to the end, and some people, if they're up front or if they're in a spot that maybe they'll be satisfied with, or if I'm in a place that I've never been in, like I have to do this year, then you kind of start getting relaxed, and then you start thinking, oh man, well, cool, it'd be cool to finish here. I'd rather not know. I'd rather just push myself to the checkered flag drops, and that's kind of my style of it.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm the exact same way. Once someone holds out the pit board in front of me, and I'm not in a place that I want to be, or someone is closer behind me than I think, I start to get all panicky, and I overthink the situation. I stop breathing, and I kind of turn into a cluster mess, and it's like a head game to myself. So I'm kind of the same way. I rather just ride my own race, do my own thing, and be aware of whatever I can see around me, and the rest is history. And just focus on myself. So yeah, I totally feel you.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like a top 5 board deal on Supercross over the stretch. I mean, you can see it when he's on the track. I always catch myself once in a while looking over at it and glance at it. Every time I do, I regret it. So it's definitely funny, like you just said, Amy. You get kind of choked up or not choked up, but like you kind of just get tense.
Oh, I get mad.
All that, yeah.
If I'm not, and I set a little goal for myself, obviously, before each of the guys race. I want to be in the top 10 or the top 5, depending where I'm at. And if someone says I'm in 11th, man, I just get so pissed off, and I just completely forget how to ride, apparently, and I let guys go by me. It's almost, I don't give up, but you get so frustrated with yourself that I always tell people, like, don't even bother. Like, just go give me the thumbs up, and that's all I need.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So A1, I mean, kind of take us, 2016. I mean, we're going to see you, the full 250 West this year.
Yeah, we're going to do. We're going to do the full 250 West. We'll be riding for Blue Buffalo, Slater Skin Yamaha. Definitely looking forward to that. Larry Brooks be my TM this year. And it's, I have a little bit more of a solid person where I don't really need to worry about too much racing, which is nice. Racing the years past, it was always, it was awesome. It was with my family and everything, but there was so many other things I things like that I'm kind of looking forward to have off my plate, and just being able to go and focus on myself for once is going to be cool, with a lot of other help and things like that taking care of around me.
Yeah, well, and I know your family, obviously with Rocket and stuff like that, you've always had some really, as far as privateer bikes, I mean, the top of the heap, and and stuff that could run with some of the factory programs. I mean, you going to bring any of that to this new team? I mean, I'm assuming Rocket's still going to be involved in the new bike.
It's actually going to be different. I think we're actually going to be going with FMF this year, but it's been a great run with my family, with Rocket and all that stuff. And like you said, we had some great we had some great days, especially for doing it out of our garage and out of a 16-foot trailer and things like that. It was great and it was awesome. I wouldn't trade any of that in, but at the same time, like I said, I'm just looking forward to being able to have a platform for me to be able to kind of, be able to focus on myself and grow in a sense that I think I need a little bit more.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, and I got to ask, I know, and this is something that's pretty close to Amy as well. I know because you guys kind of collaborated on her new uniforms, but it seems like you're really smart on the business aspect of Supercross. Whereas a lot of guys, in motocross, a lot of guys haven't had to watch, the dollars and cents, each and every week like you have. You've come up with some pretty innovative, ways to make money on the side, and and kind of set yourself up for the long term once you can't ride anymore. But tell us a little bit about Canvas.
Yes, I mean, Canvas was an idea that we actually had, my family and I had a couple of years ago, actually. I think going into the 2014 season, we had tracked down some plain white gear. And, initially it was just a marketing tool. It was a way for us to go and sell ourselves to corporate companies for them to use their tax dollars on. That was the number one way that we saw fit for it. And then obviously I utilized that tool this year in 2015, and I really got hurt pretty early. It was never my intention to get off of the side of anything until I got hurt. Once I got hurt, I'm in the hospital, and I'm going through some dated emails back before Anaheim, and I had an email from the manufacturer over in Argentina from Michael.
You're breaking up there, Michael.
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit.
I don't know if it gets any better. I'm sorry about this.
No, we can hear you now.
Stand on the roof.
Still breaking up?
No, you're good now.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so, once we got, kind of had the idea to go ahead and start a company off of it, obviously I knew I was going to be hurt and out for a little while. And, from that point, we just kind of decided to go ahead and run with it. And about 4 or 5 months later, and I think it was late June, we went ahead and launched the company. And, it's been a great learning lesson for me to utilize my time this year being down and out and, kind of put my big boy pants on and learn how to run a company.
Do you find it hard? I mean, juggling a company that's, you're growing immensely. I mean, people here in Manitoba are purchasing, canvas for their skate shops. My friend Chris Snell in there. But do you find it hard juggling, trying to manage a Supercross career and a business career? I mean, you're, definitely doing something that no other Supercross racer is doing. Most people are just focused on riding every day, where, you have to manage this business as well.
That's for sure. There's a lot on my plate. I don't think that keeps off that. I like it. I like the busy lifestyle. I like waking up early, getting business done, and going to the track, getting my training in, and coming back and getting some more business done. I'm creating a future, and I want to do a lot of other things, especially after racing, and I feel like this is really gearing me up for that. And if I'm the guy that just focuses on racing and riding, I drive myself nuts. And if I don't have something else to kind of divide my time with, I have to have that. For example, I trade currencies and stuff on the side of everything else too, and things like that. So, it's how I like to live my life, and for sure it's busy, and sometimes I definitely put a little too much on my plate, but I'd rather it that way than anything else.
No, exactly. And I mean, a lot of people should learn from you and kind of follow in your footsteps, because I've seen a lot of guys just, throw all their ducks in one bin, or whatever the term is, but they focus solely on racing, and when it's done, they're back to square one, and they have nothing to fall back on. And I always like to say you need a plan B, and you're definitely setting yourself up for an extremely long successful career in the industry, whether that be racing or on the business side. So I commend you, because it's tough work. It's you're not just training, you are working, and it's that's a hustle. I love it.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. It's pretty cool. I never expected to, have businesses now, and all that stuff. So definitely looking forward to it. And as much of a bummer as this year was, a lot of amazing things came out of it. So I guess a blessing in disguise in some ways, for sure.
Yeah, well, I can tell you, I like I was telling Amy, she shot me over some pictures of her new jerseys and stuff like that, and kind of through the design process. And to be honest with you, I think it's I can't believe it took this long for somebody to do what you're doing. I mean, I know I come from the auto racing, background, and every year I get a new driver's uniform, with sponsors laid out and stuff like that. But, you get an Impact or an Alpine Star, an Oakley driving suit, and, you don't have Oakley spread all over the chest really huge, and then you got to fill your logos in around that. It's a blank canvas, and so to speak, and you get to design it exactly the way you want. And I've always wanted to get some motocross jerseys with my sponsors on it, for when I'm on a bike or doing whatever. But I was like, I don't want Fox or something real big on there. They're not my sponsor. I don't care to represent them. And and now all of a sudden, you're doing that, and I'm looking, it's like, man, to me, it's a no-brainer. I can't believe it, that you were the guy to, to me, it should have been happening a long time ago. And props to you for seeing that market and making it happen.
No, yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, and it's funny because that's the exact same way that we got the idea. We're sitting around the fire one night, and we're watching the TV, and we're watching NASCAR or something on the TV, and you see Lowe's, you see M&M, and
yeah, we all know Simpson probably made those suits, but it doesn't say it anywhere on the suit. I mean, that's marketing. That's what it should be. We need to take a note out of their book and utilize that in our industry. I mean, if it wasn't for, Monster, Red Bull, and Rockstar and those guys really funding our sport right now, where would the money be coming from? Because if that money was pulled, a lot of teams wouldn't be going racing.
Mm-hmm. And it's all these corporate brands, not just energy drinks, but like First Form, they're the biggest financial backing to my adventures. And so I wanted to be able to represent them because I ain't going to get nothing from, I hate to say it, One Industries or something other than you get free product. But, you want to be able to represent those big financial supporters that are making your, dreams possible, and usually they're the ones who get left out or have that little tiny logo in the corner. It's you're taking what every corporate sponsor is basically looking for. It could be you could do huge things with this, and I talked to everybody about it, and they all agree too. So just stick with it, man.
Yeah, no,
I would buy shares into that.
No, I love it. So it's cool. I mean, just like you said, I mean, people like First Form that support you and all that stuff. You want to be able to represent them in the way that they're helping you, and if there's a priority person that's backing you, blast them, use that. I mean, and that's exactly what they do. So it's definitely working, and people are definitely taking notice, and so like Amy and James and Rob Madison made his gear for his pipe dream video and things like that, and Bo Bamberg and Night for Circus, and we're definitely starting to create an impact, and it's definitely been a great experience.
Yeah. Well, I think, part of what you're doing too, I mean, I look and, I race a trophy truck. Even when I race a Razor, I mean, we've got these huge panels, and you can put logos all over them. I mean, on a bike, you guys have to get pretty darn creative with, where you can put a logo where it's actually seen, and I think, opening up the jersey and pants and that, I mean, it opens up a whole, a whole nother way to market just because, your bike, you are so limited.
Yeah. Exactly. Definitely hard to market stuff, for some of the Casper. I mean, how much advertising space they have compared to, that's in the moto world. I mean, I think, if you're not on the side shroud of the front fender, the only place to get that same marketing out of is, would be the gear.
Yeah, exactly. And, you are linked up with Slater Skins, and do you want to talk a little bit about their idea? Because I know they try to, extend what the normal stock, place look like to kind of allow for that additional sponsorship kind of, space on the bike. So with Slater Skins, you have that full front piece on your handlebars to represent Blue Buffalo. So tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, exactly. When we got together with Blue Buffalo, Slater Skins, Yamaha, they obviously have a very similar marketing idea that I have just for the bike. I mean, obviously, people have used their bike more than anything else to advertise sponsors and things like that. But like we were just saying a minute ago, the marketing space on the motorcycle was so limited, and they kind of took a note out of the MotoGP book and said, okay, well, how can we make this efficient? So we can kind of do a similar situation. Slater Skins has basically, created a plastic on the bike to allow a lot more marketing space. They kind of have a front number plate / hand unit that goes as one, and they also, have the side shroud unit that, offers, I think it's even double the amount of exposure that you can get out of the stock.
It's huge.
As well. Yeah, exactly. So, they've done a good job with that, and, being able to utilize campus and Slater Skins together, we're definitely tripling the marketing real estate that they, are able to use and to go and attract companies like Blue Buffalo. I mean, that kind of sets them apart in a league where, a typical team wouldn't really be able to do so. That's sponsored by, whatever gear company and whatever plastic company, their marketing space is really, compromised.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're talking about 250 West, heading into A1. I mean, what can we look forward to this year? It looks like looking at the track layouts and stuff like that, they've shaken things up a bit.
Yeah. I mean, I think the fact that we're going to be going swimming this Saturday, as we're getting started right now. It's raining. I guess it's supposed to rain from today all the way through Saturday. So I think we'll be swimming on Saturday. And then, as far as that, I mean, there's definitely some new obstacles coming in this year, as well as some good amateurs coming up as well. I don't know. It's always hard to say until that Saturday comes in, where you start to get some practice and all that stuff. But I think it'll be a good year, and I'm definitely excited to get it on with.
Yeah, does it feel weird calling yourself the veteran?
It's kind of funny. Like I'm starting to not be, that young kid anymore, which is nice. But I'm looking forward to it. I don't think I've really even gotten started yet in the West Coast, so I'm still getting going.
You're not yet a veteran, but you're not a rookie. Okay, you're kind of that hot gun right now. You're in the good position. You're not too old, but you're not the young, dumb, and not quite got it all figured out yet. So I think you'll have a nice, good, successful career now.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm like that kid getting a couple beard hairs on his chin and all stoked about it. And it's like that awkward kind of medium, but we'll figure it out. We'll get it sorted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anybody, I mean, obviously, 250, it's these kids coming up a lot of times, you being in the industry, you know exactly who's coming in. But a lot of people that are just casual fans, somebody all of a sudden, the first couple of races of the year will be shocked. Oh, where'd that guy come from? Is there anybody that ever catches you off guard? I mean, you understand the industry, you guys, these guys' track records, you know who to look out for when they're coming in, but has there ever been anybody that just catches you off guard and go, man, where'd that kid come from this off season? I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really pay too much attention to all that stuff. And, a lot of kids will come in, too, and they'll not, know too much about it and what's around and all that stuff. And then all of a sudden, they kind of fell off the map a little bit. The one kid that definitely would be Jordan Martin. I think we can all agree that, his amateur career was good. It wasn't good as, like a little photos or a Leslie's or anything like that. But that kid came in and was dominated, and he's continuing to do so. I mean, I would think that would be one for sure.
Yeah. So, any events, you're looking forward to this year? Any of the track layouts, you go, man, I can't wait to get to that event.
I'm looking forward to getting back to Oakland and leaving there, a little bit better than this last year. I would say that's one. I think that it would be cool on the Cardinal Stadium in Phoenix this year. I guess that one, or I guess it's Ferndale. I think that one's a bit different. I think we got some tunnel stuff going on there, and all that stuff. But we'll see. It like I said, man, I'm just looking forward to getting this thing going and getting on with it.
Yeah. If Michael Leib could pick a track layout, if you could lay something out any way you wanted to, for a Supercross round, how would the track look?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I don't know what that would look like. Big jumps, a lot of triples, a lot of doubles. I don't know. That's a tough one. I've actually never thought of that one.
Yeah. Is there anything you get to on a course, on a track where you just go, man, I hate, I know me as a desert racer, and, there's certain things I get to, and I'm just like, I hate driving through this stuff. And even racing razors that way, on these Terracross tracks, I get to something, I'm just like, I hate this portion of the tracks. Is there anything you just dislike, and it's like, I just can't wait to get through this?
Not really. I mean, it's all different. I mean, I prefer, big razors a little in the loop just because I'm a little bit shorter. But I know what you mean to a certain extent, but I still like big jumps and all that stuff a little bit.
Yeah.
For me, it's those big triples out of a corner. Yeah, I could live without those.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. Nice. Well, you got anything for Michael before we let him go, Amy?
No, I'm just really excited to see how A1 pans out for you. I'm, wishing you the best of success. And, on your new team, I know you struggled a lot with, the whole ARMA team falling through. So I was just really happy to see you back on, with somebody else and, just keep killing it. Should be good. It's A1 is one of those events that you just never know what's going to happen. And it's so exciting. And you just always have a positive mindset. So I think you're going to going into this with the right ideas, and there's nothing but success that can come from that. So I wish you the best luck.
I appreciate that a lot, and thank you guys for having me on. And yeah, I mean, like you said, A1 is definitely one of those, nerve-wracking, and everyone builds so much around it. And, taking a lesson out of this last year, I'm kind of looking forward to, starting the season a little slow and getting warmed up by round 3, 4, 5, or 6 and being strong then. But we'll let all the nerves and all that stuff affect some other people before we get going.
Well, they always say let the half of the pack crash out first, and then make your way up there. So a lot of those young guns, like we're saying, the rookies come in full swinging and usually don't even make it to the next round. So
yeah, exactly. I don't think I did last year.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, now you've learned, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. We'll see. We'll see where we're at come Vegas.
Yeah, that's a little bit of that veteran sneaking in, man. You're using your head, right?
I don't know. We'll see if it's a good or a bad thing in a couple months here.
Well, we'll definitely have to get you back on in mid-season and catch up, man, and see how things are going.
I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you guys very much. And, whenever you guys want to do this again, let's make it happen.
All right. Sounds good, my friend. Take it easy, and good luck this weekend.
Take it easy, man. Good luck. Kick ass.
Thanks.
All right. Talk about a class act, Amy. I mean, that guy, Michael.
I know.
I
told you he was a great person. Like, again, it's kind of like Matt Bisceglia, and I love these athletes that are not just one-sided and kind of like that dumb dirt bike rider. Like, he is a businessman, and he's intelligent, and he's positive, and he has so much going for him in his life, and it's just a breath of fresh air, really. And I get inspired by his work ethic, too. And, the fact that he says he likes to wake up, go to work, go train, I mean, that takes a special kind of person and someone with serious, determination and will to succeed to have that type of work ethic. So I really, really commend him, and I wish him all the luck this year and a nice, safe, and healthy race season. So. Yeah,
it's I don't know. I mean, a lot of respect for a guy like that. I mean, I tell you, the one that caught me off guard, he's like, oh yeah, we've got Canvas and in the program, and I do this and that, and then he talked about trading currency, and I'm like, dude, you are way over my head. I have enough time. I have a hard enough time figuring out U.S. and Mexico and Canadian exchange rates, more or less exchanging the stuff daily to make a profit. Man, I'd lose my ass in about 2 seconds.
Yeah, all right. Well, I got my dad here rescuing me. Give me 2 seconds here, and I'll be able to come back on. He's here with some booster cables, and he's going to jump me on the side of the busy road right now.
All right. Well, tell Kim it's perfect timing. We're going to cut to a commercial break. I'll let you call back in after the commercial break, and we'll chat some more Supercross.
It should only take a couple seconds here. So when I'm back from break, I'll be back in full swing.
All right. Thanks a lot, Amy. We're going to take a short commercial break, and we'll be back at you. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it. So when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? Dirtfish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, Dirtfish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance, rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZ, Dirtfish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, Dirtfish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit Dirtfish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from Dirtfish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dirtfish Rally.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Come to the island and rip it up this summer. Wakeboard Island. It's a skate park on water at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Check out the 2-tower cable system that pulls you and your board over the water. No boats to watch out for, no fumes. Wakeboard Island is open to all skill levels with an open center section for beginners, and for trick riders, a double side kicker in a 60-foot flat box. Wakeboard Island, the best ride this side of the Rockies, adjacent to the River's Edge Cantina at Blue Water Resort and Casino on the Colorado River in Parker, Arizona.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Halfway through hour number 2 here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show. Just got done with Michael Leib talking some 250 West Supercross, the kickoff at A1 this weekend in Anaheim. And, man, talk about a good guy. Definitely, if you're looking for some riding jerseys, motocross jerseys, check out Canvas MX. They can definitely get you dialed. All custom. And definitely some good stuff coming out of Michael Leib and, in that Canvas MX there. Definitely, one of those guys that got to have a lot of respect for, privateer is making it happen, finding his way and grinding it out. And, stoked to see him, on the gate here at Anaheim and, going to make a full run of it, in the 250 West. Sounds like, definitely funding in place and they're going to make it happen this year. So, great for him. And, earlier on in the show, RJ Anderson, talking a little Dakar, Frozen Rush with RJ. And once again, those of you wanting to tune into Frozen Rush, this Friday, 12 Eastern Time, 9 Pacific, that's Friday, January 8th. It's redbull.tv. And they're going to be your home for all things Frozen Rush. Check out that live stream, and then it will be aired on the Red Bull Signature Series later on this year on NBC. But redbull.tv is going to be your home for all things Frozen Rush. So definitely looking forward to that event. I got to say, it's going to be, going to be interesting. You got Greaves, in there. You got RJ, who's getting faster and faster. A lot of good quality drivers. But I got to say, I think Bryce is definitely, one of the favorites going into this deal. But to me, Ricky Johnson, has been out of the truck for a year, but this guy, he's won Frozen Rush before. He is the one to watch. I think, this whole deal was, started out as, Ricky Johnson and, it's kind of a one-off, kind of a I don't know, viral video, so to speak, up there, and I think personally that he's going to be interesting to watch after a year off. But we're still in hour number 2, and here I go talking some Frozen Rush. But we got a lot of Supercross to talk with Ami Houde. You get your car jumped, Amy?
I did. Oh my goodness, what an embarrassing situation! And I've always seemed to have these weird car troubles and weird things happen right when it's time to call in for the show. So I don't really know what goes on there, but I have a tendency to have a little bit of bad luck sometimes. So
yeah, we get some interesting stuff. I remember one time we've had some interesting call-ins. I know when I did my interview with Jason Ellis like last May or something like that, he literally called me from the back streets of L.A., and he had to hike 5 miles to an auto shop to pick up his truck. And he's like talking to me, and he's passing literally. I mean, let's face it. There's a lot of weirdos, in LA, especially sitting on the streets, right? And we're doing this interview as he's passing like all these weird random people, and it was it was so funny. I mean, Jason Ellis is funny to begin with, but you mix in all the weirdos and everything else, and it makes for some good radio.
That's pretty interesting, that's for sure.
Yeah. So switching gears, talking some Supercross once again. I was looking at the track, the layout for A1. It's like a full-blown split gate. Have you seen that track layout? Like literally a split gate, like almost Monster Energy Cup style.
Yeah, remember that one time when they actually had the one side of the gate not even go down? Like, I know they've had problems with that split gate in the past. Like, I don't know. I don't really, to be honest, I'm not really one for the split gate. I just kind of think it's a little ridiculous. And I don't know. I'd be worried that one side would close before the other or open before the other. So I'd rather just stick with the straight and narrow, the regular one. So. But the track still looks really good. I mean, A1 always is such a great event. The track's always really, really nice. The dirt's great, just kind of depending on the weather, whether it's been like dry or a little bit wet there, if they had some moisture. So I guess we'll see how the track holds up this weekend. But it should be a great event, and there's some huge names and big name riders on the West Coast, and the West Coast is always one of the the more challenging ones, I think, personally. So it should make for a great weekend of racing. And I know that my family's going to be sitting in front of the TV on Sunday, Supercross Sundays, and I'll have a bunch of people coming over, and we're going to have a little Supercross party. You
guys have Supercross on Sundays in Canada, huh?
Yeah, we do. So I literally have to stay off social media all of Saturday.
Well, I mean, let's put it this way. You're lucky you have it, because I know you guys didn't get motocross, right?
I know.
But yeah, that's kind of random. Well, I'll have a beer for you when I'm watching Supercross live on Saturday.
Well, you know what? Actually, I got to look into that, because we do have a new like we have it only airs on one particular station here. We have a few different TV providers, and most people actually have this other one where my family's stuck with this one called MTS, and they're the only ones that has the Fox Sports one or whatever that it's aired on. So, we might actually get it live on Saturday, so I might have to look into that. But usually, no, we get it a day later or something, so it kind of sucks. But
oh, definitely a bummer. So
it's better than at least we get it compared to outdoors, where we have to try to figure out some Jimmy rigged online live streaming of it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, going back to that, I know I found some deal, and this is totally random, but you and I get on these randomness once in a while. I know you had this dilemma a while back because you can't get American Netflix, right? And you're stuck with Canadian Netflix, right? Well, I found
I know you can change your thing. You can change your location or something like that on your computer, but I don't really know how to do it.
Yeah, there was something that I read, and I'll have to find it and text it to you, but it popped up. There was some Canadian show, and they wanted to watch a Canadian show, and they figured out a cheat on how to cheat the system. So like on an iPad or whatever computer, you can watch Canadian Netflix, and then you can switch back and forth. And so I'm sure, I'm sure there's a flip-flopping way where you in Canada can watch the American Netflix or flip back to Canadian Netflix if you want. But I'll have to find it. I saw it and I was like, oh crap, I got to show this to Amy, and I totally spaced it.
We get like the worst Netflix movies in here in Canada. It sucks. It's terrible. Like maybe once a month they'll upload a couple new ones, which are still last year's releases.
Yeah. I feel like Netflix, once you're through it, and have seen all the good stuff, like then it's like almost not worth the $7 a month or whatever.
No,
because it's like
no, it totally is, because it's those D-list weird documentaries that you choose for dead last when you're kind of doing like Netflix roulette, I like to call it, where you just kind of literally like go through, close your eyes, and whatever the thing lands on is what you have to watch. Usually those turn out to be the most interesting and usually knowledgeable things, or it's all those weird D-list movies that I actually personally enjoy the most, or like the Sundance films or film festival movies, like the ones that are weird and you don't typically would pick. But I just watched this movie on Netflix called I'll See You in Valhalla, and it's about this weird this dude who joins this Viking colony, blah, blah, I don't know. It looked ridiculous. I watched it. It was one of the best movies I've seen in a long time. And then Brayden and I watched The Human Centipede, number 3, this weekend, and that totally changed my output on Z-list movies. So, yeah, I highly don't suggest that one.
Okay, because there's, it's funny you mentioned that. Like, I've got Human Centipede 1, 2, and 3 in my queue, and I'm like, do I start watching these? I mean, are they going to be craptastic, or are they just going to be garbage, or what? And I haven't started.
They are the most ridiculous. Well, Brayden has watched the first 2, and we decided to watch the third one. I think it was on like New Year's Eve or something before we went to a party, and it was disturbing. It's not worth it. It's really messed up. Whoever thinks of writing these movies and producing them is the real sicko. Like, not the people who watch it, because we watch it out of like sheer entertainment, or I don't know. I don't even know why. Okay, it's The Human Centipede. But the people who create these movies must be seriously disturbed individuals. Don't watch it. It's weird.
Yeah, I've always wondered that. Like, I'm a big horror movie guy, and you get into the bowels of Netflix, and once in a while, some will pop up and it'll be like golden, and I'm like, how did I never see this before? As far as horror movies go. But 90% of the time, I'll watch 10 minutes, and I'm like, I just can't do this. It's so bad.
Yeah, it was really bad.
Yeah.
Okay, enough from Netflix. Let's talk some Supercross. What is your top 3 starting lineup in 450s and 250s? Who would you bet your money on?
Yeah, I guess we
Who's
should.
Your fantasy Supercross pick?
Yeah, I gotta say. So we haven't even talked about this. I'm such a failure. We've got our fantasy Supercross league going on again at Fantasy Action Sports. FantasyActionSportsLeague.com. KMC Wheels has given up another set of KMC Wheels to the season-long winner. So jump in. I think last year we had almost 350 players. Last time I checked, we're still like a week out. I think we were over 100 players already. You definitely got to get your picks in. I know one of my buddies, he's probably listening to the show right now. He's driving back from Vegas to Park City, Utah. But my buddy Ken Butch, who is one of the mechanics and drivers for Ken Block, he told me, he's like, you got to get Hood to actually play her team this year.
No, I will this year for sure, because I won't be at as many events this year. So I'll actually have time to go, and because usually I'm flying out on Friday, and my head is in a kerfuffle to get to the Supercross, interview people, party, watch the races actually, and so I always forget to choose my picks because it clocks you out on Saturday. So make sure you do it before Saturday, because usually I'll remember like Saturday during the day, and I'll try to go online, and it won't let me. So that's my struggle.
Yeah,
now I'll actually do it.
Yeah. So as far as my picks go, I know because there's a salary cap, so you can't just take Dungey and Roxon and all the top guys. I set my team up where at the end I had enough money left to get the number 1 pick on the board, Ryan Dungey, and I took him. I think I favor Roxon to win more races this year. But I think the consistency at Dungey, if we're looking at like the full season, like I want that consistency with my Supercross team. And I know you can change week to week, but I'm like, so I went with Dungey. And then I took, because he was so ridiculously cheap as far as the things go, my flyer this year was James Bubba Stewart. I threw him on my team, and I'm like, you know what? I just don't know what to expect. Either it's going to work out great for me, or it's going to be a huge failure.
Oh, yeah, totally. So that's kind of the thing. It's like, okay, do you choose this loose cannon or not? So it'll be really interesting to see kind of like people's strategies and who they're going with and stuff. And, yeah, it'll be interesting. So I'm actually going to play along this year. I don't think I can win the KMC wheels, which is very, very, very sad because they're so sexy. I love them.
Yeah.
And I need to get some on my Danger Ranger. We've already talked about that, so make it happen.
Yeah, you got General Tires on there. We just need to get you some KMC bling.
They don't even look that good because they have these old crappy rims. So I need to be nice.
I need to shoot a email to KMC. We'll figure something out and tell. See, one of the guys, the athlete manager at KMC Wheels is Mike Bell, who former Supercross champion Mike Bell, and so he's kind of got a soft spot for motocross riders. So maybe we can get Mr. Mike Bell to slide you a set of wheels there.
Let's hope so, because I got to make this truck look pretty.
Yeah. So, those are my picks. I think also on my team, Michael Leib, you got to have a mix of riders. He's always so ridiculously cheap. I'm not a Michael Leib fan at all, but the guy he makes main events and he usually gets decent results, and I got him for like pennies. I like
Michael as a person. He's actually a great guy. He always makes an effort to say hi, and he's very, very pleasant. Like, he is a good person. Like, I really like him. I think he's an awesome dude, and everyone gives him such a hard time when he's funny. Like, we actually should have him on the show because he's a hoot. I should try to line that up because he's a good time for sure.
No, he is officially on my Supercross team, and I don't know the guy. I just I know. Let's put it this way: he's very aggressive in his writing.
You know him through the controversy. That is how Michael Leib is known, and it really is too bad because he gets such a bad rap, but he's such a nice guy.
Yeah.
His brother kind of ruined it for him. I'll say that. I like them both, but Jeff kind of, kind of was the one to let's say, point the finger in the wrong direction, or in this case, point the laser in the wrong direction.
Yeah. And who was the other guy I've got? Dean Wilson. I used Dean Wilson as one of my fillers. I like Dean. I've always liked him, and I think there's going to be good things come from him this year.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, he always seems to be plagued with injuries and kind of inconsistent. So let's hope. I mean, geez, he has to put the year together. Like, this has to be the year. You can't go, 20 seasons in a year not actually even finishing the championship or finishing the whole series. So, come on, Dean. Yeah. Well, let's do this. Because he's such a strong and, such a great rider, but he just can't seem to put it all together. And he's been in that young gun hot seat for so long now that hopefully he's a little bit more matured and grown up a bit and rides more with his head. So.
Yeah, and the one guy that I have on my team, and I think this is the last guy on my team, and everyone should have him locked in on their team. I'm giving away secrets. He's so ridiculously cheap, he won't be for long. Weston Pike.
Oh, goodness. I don't even know how he'd be a cheap rider. We talked a lot about Weston and, his successes overseas and in Geneva. Weston is going to be one of those top runners. Top 3 every weekend, I'd give him on the podium. Hands down.
Yeah.
The guys who are quiet and the guys who are not as, in the press and in the media, blah, blah, blah. Everything is always around Dungey, Stewart, and Roxon, where, we have these guys like Tyler Bowers and Weston Pike who are, consistent top 3 riders and give those, give Roxon and Dungey a run for their money. And, if they can get out front, Weston can clean up. So I know he has the endurance and the training and strength behind him now that he'll be. I knew he struggled last year with the endurance side of it, so I think he'll have a great season too.
Yeah. So
I know he'll be winning some rounds for sure. He'll be on the top of the box.
Yeah. So A1 this weekend. I want to know Ami Houde's picks. Who do you think is going to walk away? 250s and 450s with the win.
Okay. Well, I'm more. Obviously, you're very focused on the 450s, where I bet money on the 250s. I'm all about the 250s because it's such a hot-headed competitive class with so many options. Like, man, there's still just like a handful of guys in the 450s who are, the top runners, but in 250s it's anybody's game. But right now, obviously, the king of Supercross, the man to beat and defending his title is Cooper Webb. So I really think that Cooper Webb is going to be the man to beat in 250s, followed by Jesse Nelson, who, he came out of the gate last year running and having such a successful season, and then Cooper snuck in on him. But I think that I would still have to give the opener round to Cooper. He's been training. He's been over in Australia. He's been in Europe, and he's been in Japan, getting a lot of seat time under his belt. So that's going to be a huge advantage for him. But then, I think Aldridge, we talk a lot about Aldridge. If he can stay on the bike, that he would be, a podium contender. And I'd like to see Chris Aldridge up there. I have to see right now if he's racing the West Coast. Hold on, let me see here. Yeah, he is. And then also, Star Yamaha's new addition to their team, Alex Martin. So Jeremy Martin will be defending the East title while Cooper's on the West. But I do think that, Cooper's teammate Alex Martin is going to be a heavy hitter this year as well. So it's going to be such a great season. There's so many guys now on the West Coast. It's so exciting. I can't wait. A1 is one of my favorite events of the whole entire year. There's so much that goes on, X Games, Enduro Cross, Terra Cross, anything, but A1 is one of those races and events that keeps me on the seat of my pants all night. So It's anybody's game.
And we always learn a ton after A1. Got to ask, two of the 250 guys moving up to 450s. What do you think, Bogle and Marvin?
Oh, finally for Marvin, thank goodness.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been about time, but Bogle is such a very aggressive rider, so I think he'll be able to maneuver and handle that bike really well. I think he'll make a good transition to the 450s just because of that aggressive style that he has. And he's a great rider. He's really good in the whoops too, so that's a big advantage in the 450s. I mean, it's a lot of bike, and Marvin Lucian is a skinny little dude, so we'll have to wait and see how he makes that jump from 250s to 450s. But, they're top contenders. They're very, very skilled, and I don't think they'll have any troubles. But I think they might – I think that Bogle might actually make the transition a little bit easier and be a little bit more of the front runner off the start. I think it might be a bit of a slower transition for Marvin. I think it'll take him a little bit of time to get used to it. But then again, but Bogle's raced a couple of the 450 rounds last year, did he not? I believe he did.
Yeah, I think he filled in, right?
Yeah, so I think Marvin, I've not seen a lot of Marvin on the 450. I don't really know his capabilities. I haven't seen much training of him on the 450s. There hasn't been a lot of videos. It's pretty under wraps. So, do I see him top 3? No. Do I see him top 5 for A1? Quite possibly, but there's Trey Kennard. We're totally leaving out Trey Kennard right now. Chad Reed, Jason Anderson, and Brock Tickle. Like, those are, man, like, the gate is actually stacked for 450s. There's, instead of being just a handful, there's, 10 top dudes right now that, and Jason Anderson is one of those guys also who, is kind of that dark, silent horse, and he's been putting in tons of work, tons of training. He is so comfortable on that Husqvarna. I think he'll be a hot shot right out of the gate as well.
Yeah, for sure. I completely agree. Lots going to happen at A1 this weekend. Definitely.
There's a lot of riders. Holy smokes. Have you seen the lineup for 250s? There's so many guys. It's going to be some tight qualifying classes, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I mean, just to make the show, it's going to be tough. I mean, it's definitely not going to be easy.
Can't make mistakes. I mean, qualifying is still tough. You make one mistake, you're in the LCQ. You make another mistake, you're screwed. I mean, it's people got to be on their game this weekend with being such a stacked class.
Yep, for sure. All right, Amy. Well, we're winding things down. We got to let you go, but thanks for the time. Full hour today. I kind of like it, and know we're gonna have you.
I apologize for my little mishap there earlier with with my poor truck. Literally, as I was about to call into the show, I was going to go run into my truck. I just had sat down for lunch and kind of did some research here on Supercross, and I was going to my truck, and I noticed that my four-way slowly started to get dimmer and dimmer, and I couldn't even unlock my door with the power lock. So I'm like, oh, my goodness. And my truck died. So, not just my luck. But we made it. We were back. So I look forward to another hour next week, and we'll be able to recap some Supercross. It should be very, very exciting. I cannot wait.
Yeah, and rumor is maybe we might have the new Miss Supercross on air with us next Monday, so that should be exciting.
I can't wait to see how she does as well. I know she, comes from a background in the fitness industry. She has a son. She looks very, well established in her life, so it'll be cool to see how she transitions to the motorsports. I look forward to seeing her. She looks like a nice girl.
All right, thanks a lot, Amy.
Okay, cool, bye.
Bye. All right, that was Ami Houde. That was Supercross. Don't forget, fantasyactionsportsleague.com. You can get in on that, as well as Frozen Rush live stream this Friday, redbull.tv, 12 Eastern Time. Give a shout-out to Polaris Razor, General Tire, Dirtfish Rally School, UPR.com, Blue Resort and Casino, Jmar Performance Brakes, KMC Wheels, Gibson Exhaust, MTX Audio. Give me a follow at JimBeaver15 on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.com/Down and Dirty Show, and at Ami Houde 71 is her info. We will see you next week, and as always, game on.